Hello and welcome to One Cool Thing, PCMag's daily show where we show you one cool thing which we are testing out here in the PCMag Labs. I'm Sasha Sieg and this is Victoria Song, and this is the Garmin Vivosmart 4. Now, this week you may have heard of a hot new wearable that is coming on the market that's supposed to measure your heart rate and tell if you're falling and costs like $20,000 and is made of gold or whatever. And this is not it.
This is not it.
Right.
It's not $20,000. It's just $400 to $500, depending on which one you want.
But this is $129.
This is $129. This is a fraction of the cost, and it's not a smartwatch. It is a fitness tracker.
Okay. So if you were interested in tracking yourself, what does this thing offer you? What is it measuring?
So this is the, like as we mentioned, this is the Vivosmart 4, and as far as trackers go, Garmin is very comprehensive. So you're gonna get all the basics like step tracking, distance tracking, calories burned, floors climbed, all of that. Plus you get some little extra cool stuff. Like the Garmin Connect app is super detailed compared to, let's say, like a Fitbit app. So if you do an exercise, you can go in and you can find out your average cadence, your steps per when you're running, your fastest pace, you get a whole bunch of stats. This has SpO2 sensors in it. So when you track sleep, you can see your pulse oxidate, what they call your pulse ox score, which is basically your blood saturation levels as you sleep.
How does that help you?
That's one of the things that I mentioned in my review. So one of the things is and we see this on the new Fitbit trackers like the Versa, they add these SpO2 sensors, which are basically small red LEDs, and that measures your blood oxidation levels, your blood oxygen saturation levels. And what that does is that it's a diagnostic tool used for sleep apnea. Ah,
so can it tell by your blood oxygen saturation if you're going like, whoa?
Supposedly, yes.
Okay.
So obviously I would take that with a grain of salt with this, but if you are having bad sleep and you kind of want to know if you're snoring a lot, it can kind of tell how well you're taking in oxygen as you sleep. So that might be another layer of quantification for you, although I wouldn't take it super seriously at this point with wearables.
Okay, now continuous heart rate monitoring?
Yes, this has continuous heart rate monitoring, about 7 days of battery life, which is super excellent. And there's like a new thing within the app where you can measure your body battery.
So this is like the Matrix?
No, kind of. So what it does is when you wear it continuously for 24 hours, it'll measure your sleep. It'll measure. It's got improved auto tracking from the Vivosmart 3. So it'll measure your activity through your day, your stress levels based on what your heart rate is, and it'll kind of calculate how charged you are for physical activity. So if you have a body battery charge of 85, that means maybe you should exert some energy throughout the day because you're pretty charged up. If you're lower at let's say 40, it might be hey, take it easy today because you've done an exercise, you've not slept well or whatever. So it's just a new kind of visualization for your health in that sense.
Okay, now you said it's not a smartwatch, but will it give you the time and will it give you any notification information?
Yes, so you can get all of your app and text notifications on here, but as you can see,
it's a very small screen.
It's a very small screen, and this is the other con. I don't find it very responsive.
Gotcha.
So that's one of the issues that I have with it. This is a thing that I've had an issue with the previous iteration, the Vivosmart 3. It's like a swipe interface, and the screen is not super responsive. The competitor tracker that I would compare this to is the Fitbit Alta HR. They're very similar in terms of form factor and price. And that one also has a bit of a issue with responsiveness on the screen.
Is it waterproof?
Yes, it is. So you can basically take this in the shower. You can take it in a pool. It'll do well. The only thing is that it's stylish, but it's not modular straps.
Okay,
so when you go in, you're gonna have to make a style choice about the color, and you're basically stuck with it. You can't switch it up.
We have some questions out there.
I guess someone can't really see the display that much. They're asking if it's e-ink. What is it exactly?
No, it is a mono color screen. So
mono LCD.
Mono LCD screen. You can't see it right now.
Wait, is it LCD or LED?
LED.
LED, those glowing blue things.
Yes, the glowy blue things.
Mono LED.
It's a mono LED screen.
Right. The lights, the diodes emit light.
Yeah, so it's not anything particularly fancy. You're gonna swipe up and down and left to right to navigate through menus. It'll buzz you for when you're sitting for too long to tell you to go walk. It is pretty good at auto tracking. So like when I was just taking a walk, it would, after 10 minutes, buzz and be like, hey, you're taking a walk. So we're gonna track that automatically for you, which kind of negates how frustrating the navigation is.
Now when, so hang on a sec, I'm looking at this. I completely forgot what my next question was going to be.
That happens.
That happens?
We're live, that's live.
Yeah,
it happens live.
That's live. Okay, so someone is looking at, of course, you've been hearing a lot about the Apple Watch 4, and people have been talking constantly about the Apple Watch 4 for the past week. People who are looking at that primarily for fitness.
They're making a mistake.
Why should they, exactly, why should they be looking at a fitness tracker instead of the Apple Watch 4?
So the Apple Watch 4 does a lot of things. It is primarily a smartwatch. What it excels at is giving you notifications, giving you a really broad app ecosystem. What it doesn't excel at is tracking accurately. So if you want continuous heart rate monitoring, you're not going to get that with the Apple Watch. What it does is that it'll monitor your heart rate continuously when you are exercising. Otherwise, it'll take it once every 10 minutes or so. Like that's something we see with the Samsung Galaxy Watch, and that's primarily for battery life.
And the battery life on those devices is trash.
Yeah. This one will get you 7 days. It'll get you 7 days. So you can get full 24-hour tracking. That's not something that you can necessarily get with the Apple Watch, even though it has a much more health focus now. You can't get sleep tracking reliably with it because the battery will not last you that long.
Wait, I just remembered the question I was going to ask, and then we'll take your question, which is that, so I have some friends who are obsessive runners, and they really swear by the Garmin brand. Does this device have special features, or does it track better than other brand devices for runners?
What you're gonna get is a better metric system in the app. So like, let's check out my Garmin Connect app so we can go take a looky-loo at a run I did. Hold on, I have like 10 million apps that I use for testing on this phone. So let's go back. Come on. There's a little dude, he's running. He's loading.
Hey,
let's
now
look
we have
at
a
this
screen.
calendar.
Let's show folks the screen.
So we have a calendar. Let's say I have this run that I did for testing. He's running. He's getting my data. So you can just go and...
Can it map your run too?
This one doesn't have GPS built in. It's a simpler tracker, so it's not going to have that. But look at all of the metrics that I get with my runs.
Average moving speed.
So like
max
you get my
speed.
best pace, you get my average speed, my average moving speed, my max speed, my moving time, my elapsed time, my heart rate. You get my cadence.
So much more fit than I am, Victoria. It is stunning. I'll just say that. Looking at Victoria's run makes me realize how lump-like sedentary my life really is.
This is actually not my max speed. This is my testing speed,
Okay.
which is at a controlled pace, so that we can get good step rate. So this is one thing that this had super accurate metrics for step count.
Great.
Like I when I do test, I wear a control pedometer, and I think for my run it had the exact amount as my control pedometer, which is really excellent. So not only can you get all those advanced metrics for runners, you basically get really accurate tracking. So that's one reason why runners are really big fans of Garmin, because they really will get you a lot of insight into what you're doing.
Let's take some more questions.
Does it track pool laps?
It does track swimming. Like that's another thing. You can track an absurd amount of activities with Garmin compared to some other trackers. Like if we look right here, you can manually track all these ridiculous things. So you can track lap swimming, open water swimming, casual walking, speed walking, bike to run transition, motocross, boating, flying,
hang gliding,
golf. Mountaineering,
Skate skiing. What
skate
is that
skiing,
even?
skydive. You can track skydiving,
What is
stand
skate
up.
skiing?
I have no idea. Wakeboarding,
Okay.
whitewater kayaking. So literally anything that you want to do, you can basically track that activity manually.
Let's
in
take
here.
another question.
Did you mention if it interfaces with Apple Health?
I don't think it does, but it might.
It's in its own. It's in its own app world.
It's in its own app world and its own app ecosystem. If you know other people who have Garmin, you can do challenges with them. Basically, Garmin lovers are Garmin lovers.
Yeah.
I think a bunch of apps do. I can't say for certain off the top of my head whether Garmin does interact with Apple Health, but I find Apple Health to not be the most useful app for tracking my data. So if you're going to go for the Vivosmart 4, you want it because it's going to give you a lot more data, and it's going to give you more in-depth data than you can really do with Apple Health.
Okay. Another question.
You mentioned something about being compatible with ANT Plus equipment. What is that?
So ANT Plus equipment is basically a lot of gym equipment that you have. So like, it's just a way that it communicates with different devices. So like heart rate monitors will use it, like the chest strap ones. If you're super like into that, it's more like how the Apple Watch has electrodes.
So
on
you
the
can
back
buy
now.
additional accessories that then can communicate with this?
Yeah, or
Okay.
like you can communicate with, depending on what your gym equipment is, like if your treadmill has like ANT Plus, whatever, you can have them communicate with each other and you can see your heart rate come up.
Oh,
on the
okay.
gym
So you
equipment.
can get so you can get what, you get the heart rate off the heart rate sensors on the treadmill? Okay, as opposed to from
Yeah.
here.
So like when I test, I have a polar chest strap that I compare all of this heart rate data to, and I will have the ANT compatible chest thing send it to my gym's treadmill so I can see in real time what my heart rate is, so I don't have to continuously like switch between 6 different apps while I'm running. Like I've perfected this process over time. It's very complicated. Not real. It's not complicated.
Let's take another question.
Can you just recap some battery details about how long the battery lasts? How long does it take to charge?
Okay, so generally with trackers, and this is basically it's gonna take about 2 hours to charge. That's what I find is basically typical for most trackers. It's not any more or less, and it's gonna last you about 7 days, which
That's
is
really great.
Really great.
Yeah.
I
For
got
something
about
so small.
something's. You know, like smaller trackers like this tend to last longer in that sense. So if you really just want a lot of data and you want it continuously and you don't want to think about stashing a charger in your bag all the time, this is really great for that. See, like the battery lasted so long, I forgot to charge it because it's basically 7 days.
You start taking
worth.
it for granted.
You start taking it for granted that it's charged. You kind of just forget.
Okay, so should people be getting this or the Fitbit Alta HR?
Depends on what you value. If you value data and in-depth looks at your data and just like quantification, then this is a better bet for you because it's about, I believe, $30 cheaper. You get way more activities. The interface is a little more, you're gonna have to do a little more like searching around. It's not as streamlined as Fitbit's. But if you do value versatility, I do think the Alta HR is a better bet because you do have modular straps, so you can dress it up, you can dress it down. Like I had a double band leather wraparound for the Alta HR. It looks really cool. I could wear it I can accessorize more with it. This is like gray, which goes with my outfit because I thought about my outfit for this on the show.
It's very neutral.
It's very neutral. There are some other wilder colors. There's like a berry purple color.
But then you're
which
stuck with berry purple all the time.
You're stuck with that all the time, which may or may not be dress upable. Like if you're going to a formal event, this is kind of gonna clash with that.
If you're going to a formal event with a berry purple wristband on, you may look like you're under house arrest.
Yeah, or you're just really gonna have to coordinate ahead of time. Like you don't really have that ability to switch out.
Okay.
So, and you know, if competitions are really a thing for you and all of your friends are on Fitbit, I'm gonna say go on that because that can be more motivating for you. You have to think about the platform and the community.
But if you just want, if you just want to know the maximum amount about what you're doing, this looks like the gadget.
Yeah, if you want to know the maximum amount of what you're doing, you're really not interested in a smartwatch experience, you're interested in a tracker experience, this is a really great, affordable little guy who can keep up with you pretty easily.
Great, great. So this is the Garmin Vivosmart 4. We rated it 4 stars, not quite an editor's choice because the Fitbit Alta HR exists.
That exists, and I am still not in love with the responsiveness of the screen.
Screen needs to be a little more responsive. However, it is $129, so if you're looking for a comprehensive fitness tracking solution, definitely look into this. Thank you all for watching. This has been One Cool Thing from PCMag.com. We will be back with another live show, a very special live show with a product that you're all going to want to see tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. And of course, we have a new one on YouTube every day. Please like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. We'll see you again soon.